Hello everyone, I am Malaceo. Welcome to my channel. Today is the 23rd of December, so that makes it my 23rd video for Vlogmas. Time is flying. That means tomorrow is Christmas Eve, and today marks the second day also of my first house sit. So what I'm going to talk about today is what I'm expecting and also a little bit of preparing for culture shock. So for a lot of people, I feel like, you have the whole idea of, what you want to do, what you want to experience. But like I said in my video last night, is that a lot of times when Americans in particular think about going on vacation, because we usually only have two weeks of PTO, give or take, it's a little hard to think about going somewhere when you don't have more than a month. It's rare, and you got to get some type of special privileges and stuff like that, or just even a nice manager or someone who has it has to be a life thing, like you're going on a honeymoon or you had a kid or something like that. It has to be something life altering. But for me, I think what I'm trying to do mentally for myself and to also preparing myself for culture shock is not going in with any necessary expectations and not trying to control what I'm seeing, what I'm going to do, try to plan everything out to the T. Because maybe 2 weeks ago, I was thinking about, okay, I'm going to hit this place, I'm going to hit that place. And I was going to do this whole trek through Japan where I literally go from the top all the way to the bottom in 3 months. And I'm like, I'm not doing this for any time. For any extended period of time. I'm planning on doing this for at least the next 7 years of my life. So yeah, I'm 33 now. So when I'm 40, that's what I'm thinking about doing it at least. And even if I get a place that I call home, I'll still be traveling on a regular basis. But I feel like 7 years is a good time to slow travel the world to figure out exactly where I would like to stay and, centralize myself. If I don't, I'll just come back to, Georgia as my home and get a condo or something in Atlanta, but I wouldn't be staying there on a regular basis. I just, just to sit there and say I have a home. But so I'm going to Southeast Asia first. And being in the military, even though, that was I was there maybe 15 years ago now. It's a little bit more of a oh, okay, let me figure this out. Let me figure that out. Let me go and see this and go and see that. And I think, especially now that I'm using ChatGPT, that, okay, I'm going to use ChatGPT. I am going to ask the, what is the place known for fast food? What are the locals eating? What is, certain things that people do as far as festivals? When are the festivals? What the festivals mean? What's the spirituality? What is the culture? What is the overall, what the locals do, how the locals, live their day-to-day life though. So I feel like ChatGPT helps a lot because it also helps you understand before you get there, the average person or the average local, because it does depend. If you're in a small town, for example, in Vietnam, it's going to be different than a big city. Just like here in the States, it's going to be different. And I feel like you'll understand, and then be able to finagle your way. So for example, if I do, do this research or whatever, Like, I'm not trying to get on the trains at the same time all, the businessmen and business women are getting on the trains. I'm not doing that. I will learn about it so I can go when everybody else is not on that train. But I'm not doing that. So, and sort of just understanding just other things, like even in certain places they have trains where only women can sit there and stuff like that. So you can be aware of that and, look into that and be more aware of it, And I think also, understanding how men interact with women and how women interact with men and how foreigners interact with like other foreigners and stuff like that, and just sort of understanding so you can, obviously you're a foreigner, so like how much blending in are you really going to do? But I feel like it's respect and then trying to be respectful. So, just doing overall like cultural research or just looking like what do Vietnamese people do on a regular basis to show in society to show respect, and put that in chat GPT, and then you'll sort of understand, like literally write it out for you. I'm not saying that's the end all be all, but that's a good place to start. And then you can, home in on certain bullet points that it'll give you to do further research. But even for me, my day to day, I really wanted to home in on like, okay, I want to one, relax, two, have a good time, but not feel like, oh my God, I gotta do, like, I'm pressed to do this, I'm pressed to do that. If I wanted to get up and go to a coffee shop and then work a little bit, then I'll do that. And then if I wanted to do something over here, then I'll do that. Because in my mind, I think like not even the day-to-day, but a perfect week for me, I'm thinking working 3 days out of the week. And the rest, from like sun up to sundown. Cause when I start working, I want to do everything like right then and there, like my whole entire task. So even now, like mentally try to get my head around it. Like I already know, girl, I'm on this like cleanse. So it's like, so trying to get everything, together, and then I can just move on from everything that, that I'm doing, as far as like, okay, this is a stamp. I don't really like things to linger. So, 3 days out of my, 7, I'll be working. And even with that time, I'll have that next day to sort of figure out like, hey, do I want to do this? Do I want to do that? Do I want to, and then, I'll go out if I do want to go out. And if I want to work a little bit more, then I'll work a little bit more. And it's like, the work for that week is done. So I have the rest of the week to do whatever I want type of situation, So yeah, because I believe like even in Da Nang, like I think they have like, all these things to do in like these markets and stuff, like which I'm doing the markets. I'm definitely going to be like up and about, like doing the markets and hanging out and stuff like that. And obviously, like I said, seafood, the food in general, the coffees, like there's so many things to, not just be aware of, but to like prepare yourself for. And I think once you think more of like, okay, this is going to be this positive experience and this authentic experience versus, oh, well, it is what it is, and oh, what about this and what about that, and oh my God, I can't, what this, you do like, you try to gauge it as much as possible, because like even with like the money and stuff like that, like for me, like I said, I'll have a second debit card, and anytime I use it in an ATM or use it in general, then I'll freeze it automatically unless I'm like at a store, like in the mall or something like that. A place where it's sketchy, you really don't know, so it is what it is with that. And also to, carry cash with you is also like, the overall like best option, especially for like a lot of places. Yeah, so I feel like trying to let go, like, cause I don't necessarily have a personality. Like I can be controlling when it's like, you know, I want to finish it at this time or I have a project to finish. But as far as my personality with, you know, going somewhere, especially now that I have full, like you travel and you leave like slowly, like you travel slowly, but you're leaving like, you know, slowly, like you're not being there for 2 weeks and then out. It's time, I feel like, to just bask in a situation. And then I think another thing that a lot of people don't think about, like if you have a place that you go to and you like it, you can go there again. You know, you're not forced to be like, you know, when you're on vacation, and I've tried to find a more positive ways of thinking about it. Instead of being like, oh, okay, well, oh, the culture shock or this, that, and the other. Like on the other hand, you do have things that you do experience and that you have came across that you can do more than once. My big thing is, like, especially if I go on vacation or I go somewhere, you know, you have places that you know, either certain foods you want to try or certain restaurants you want to go to. And you don't necessarily have time within a week or, you know, 2 weeks to go to every restaurant that you wanted in the first place, but then also go to every other, you know, I mean, not every other, but go to a restaurant that you liked and then be able to go back again without messing up your entire schedule that you had. So yeah, that's pretty much like my tidbit and what I wanted to talk about for the most part. Yeah, I know I might be seeming a little bit off. Like like I said, like, you know, groggy and stuff like that. So I need to get started with my business. Like I have some stuff that I gotta upload and get ready. And before you know it, we will be in there like swimwear. We'll be up and running. Everything will be up to par. And yeah. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.